Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Alex Pereira recently mocked a clip of Israel Adesanya training with a tennis ball. Pereira uploaded a clip of himself training on a hoverboard with the following caption, "Training with a tennis ball is easy. I want to see him train boxing on top of a hoverboard." Dana White talks about what the UFC might look like after he retires. Here's the clip.
And then what was also brought up during that interview is Trump said that you were pretty much the only sports figure that was essential in all of sports.
Very nice of him.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people do feel that is the case.
If and when I ever leave, I mean, the UFC, like I said last night to Tucker, I mean, got a great team in place. Obviously, I hopefully have built a business that will last many, many years after I'm dead. The UFC will be very different when I'm gone. It'll be different, it won't go away.
But like you said, there's no near future plans in that. No, I'm here. Unfortunately for you guys, I'm here to stay.
Bo Nickal speaks about his future UFC debut and says he is ready to take on Khamzat Chimaev.
I think all my fights I've finished guys different ways. So, I don't know how they're going to game plan for me moving forward, but it's going to be tough.
And just, I know you were, I guess, kidding when you called out Khamzat, but when you look at him and he has that great high-level wrestling, how do you see a matchup with him down the road going if you were to fight him?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about as far as kidding, but, I feel like that's a good matchup for me. He's obviously a high-level grappler, a high-level fighter. He's one of the top fighters in not only in his division but in the UFC. So I have a lot of respect for his skills, but I also know what I'm about. So yeah, at some point I'm making my UFC debut, right? Like, he's probably fighting for the title soon. So am I going to get that fight? Probably not, but I'm ready to go, and it will happen in the future, and I'll be more than prepared then.
It's recently been announced that there will be no fans or audience in attendance at UFC Vegas 61 on October 1st. Ariel Helwani had this to say about the unusual circumstances.
What I was told from one source, just one, that's why I don't feel really comfortable like saying this is definitive, but it's a very good source, very close to the event. I was told that it has something to do with Mark Zuckerberg. Now, is he renting it out just for him, just for his friends? Doesn't seem like something he would do. Are they renting it out to do something like some sort of metaverse event or so? I can't quite nail that down, but I was told via one of the people involved on the card that what they were told was it's because of Mark Zuckerberg, who you may have heard is really into MMA. He's been training MMA.
It seems Khamzat Chimaev has made up his mind on who he wants next inside the octagon. At Colby Covington next. Chael Sonnen recently broke down some of the UFC fighters' opinions on the outcome of the upcoming Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira fight. Here's the clip.
Adesanya, Pereira, guys. Now, let me just tell you some things that I'm hearing, okay? Because Pereira's being very respected. Really, the industry is really behind Pereira, and people like Izzy, just so you know that. The guys in the back like and respect Adesanya. And I don't know how much I believe that they even know Pereira. Let me give you a quick quote from Daniel Cormier, first one I ever heard on this. If Pereira knocked out Izzy with the big gloves, imagine the confidence Pereira's going to have when they put on 4-ounce gloves. Okay, but I got that from a UFC commentator, right? When Henry Cejudo weighed in, Henry Cejudo said Pereira's going to beat him. Pereira's a better striker. This is all Henry. Pereira's a better striker. He proved that the last time that they fought when he knocked him out. And one missing piece with Izzy, if you're going to study him, that you want to learn to not do, you want to become a complete mixed martial artist. This is all Henry speaking. Izzy's not. He doesn't have those takedowns. And at a time like this, it would have been good had he learned them. Now, I like it. It's a comment on Izzy and Pereira, a fight that I'm very interested in, but I just got that from an Olympic wrestler. So Jared Cannonier weighed in. He was talking with Helen Yee, and he said that Izzy's going to expose him. Izzy is much better than the world knows. Now, I appreciated that from Jared Cannonier.
Petr Yan has released some training footage ahead of his match with Sean O'Malley next month.
Someone's going to sleep. There you go. Yan Island time.
In a recent interview, Eddie Alvarez had this to say about his future following his departure from ONE FC.
It's no skin off my back. I'll fight anyone in the world if the fans want to put an awesome fight together against, and like you name it. You know, even in the UFC, like the UFC right now, out of the top 8, I've beaten 4 out of the top 8, and like three of them guys are in the mix in the hunt for the title, whether it's Poirier, Gaethje, or Chandler. All 3 of them I have wins over, can win over them again, and they're all in the hunt for the UFC title. Even Dos Anjos is number 8, and I have wins over him. So like to get back in that mix is awesome. To win another American world title somewhere is awesome. To do a super fight with the new free agent who's unsigned. You know, Aldo, I believe, is free. I believe Nate is free. And I'm sure there'll be other free guys within the next couple months that are larger names that you can do a card with. I don't know, there's just a lot of opportunity out there and a lot of big names to make some good fights with.
Wow. Okay, so can I ask you some blunt questions? Mainly, would you be willing to go back to the UFC? Would you be open to that?
Yes.
Would you be open to going back to Bellator?
Yeah.
Despite the messy divorce that you just referenced?
Yeah, my messy divorce with Bellator was with Bjorn Rebney. It wasn't with Scott Coker.
Sean O'Malley recently spoke about the possibility of Dillon Danis coming back, but in the boxing ring.
Logan looks like he's training hard too.
Yeah.
And it looks like maybe he's training for, hopefully get back in the boxing ring too. I'd love to see him come back and box.
Who do you want to see him box?
I was saying Dillon Danis. I would love to see that. Tim doesn't think Dillon Danis would take that fight. I'm kind of agreeing with it.
But maybe Dillon would be like, that's one payday. But man, talk about someone who did it right. Like, Dillon hasn't fought anybody. He wasn't that great at jiu-jitsu. He won world championships at brown belt a couple times. So he wasn't that great at jiu-jitsu. So just a super mid-tier guy. And now he ends up landing a $2 million, $3 million, $5 million fight against Logan Paul. If that happened, that would be insane, and he's doing it right.
That would be crazy. I don't think you'd make that much.
Well, how
million max?
Maybe $1 million.
How is he making money in the meantime?
That's what I'm curious too. I'm curious how he makes
probably works like a little side job, little Uber driver. You imagine Dillon Danis like covering up? He's like, it's not me.
He's got a wig.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.